Welcome everybody to Make It Make Sense podcast. We are back for another week of some dating and relationship conversations, male and female dynamics. Trying to figure this. Cut that shit. I'm talking, Dennison. And we've got some special guests today and some lovely ladies, and we're gonna have some fucking fun and have these conversations about making this shit easier. Like, we need to understand each other, ladies and gentlemen, so we can have nuclear families again, bring masculinity back into the home so we don't have this soft-ass society and weak world and weak-willed humans. And honestly, it shouldn't be that damn difficult to find somebody that you like and that you want to be with for a long time. But apparently we can't get on the same damn page. So that's what this podcast is for. So we can learn about each other, understand each other, and make shit work and be happy and raise some strong little people to move on the next generation. And you're on fly duty, right? Where's that damn swatter? Oh, you're
Got it. I got it.
Pay attention, because this fly is going to drive me fucking nuts. With that being said, let's go around the table and introduce everybody. And we're going to start with my lovely co-host, as always. Tell them who you are, what you do for a living, how old you are. What was my other one?
Relationship status?
Oh, relationship status. Bingo.
My name is Jessica. I am 32 years old. I am a stay-at-home mompreneur. And I am in a relationship with Troy.
Nice. You seem like calm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's
And
up?
my boy, go ahead. Tell us.
Name's Cash. I'm a personal trainer. I'm 33, turning 34 pretty soon. And I'm married.
Nice.
I'm Tiffany.
Right into the mic. Turn it to. Got it?
Yeah, there we go. I'm Tiffany. 33, about to be 34 in a few months. Got married, and I'm a quick trip manager.
Your turn. Give me that.
Failed. I'm Leilani. I'm not a day over 29, and I'm in tech sales, and I am single-ish.
What does single-ish mean?
Means it's complicated.
I hope so.
So, what's complicated about it? Who's not
I have
committed?
a roommate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys go together or don't you?
Not officially, but I mean it's complicated. He's still in the house, so we're cohabitating. But it's expensive. Rent's not cheap.
I guess. I get it.
So what? Kind of hard to bring somebody home.
Okay. Shit. This fly's got me all discombobulated.
What about you?
Oh yeah, me. Troy. I'm 36, I think. He's on the thing, Dennison. Right there. On your shit. Get it. You let him go. 36. I'm a barber. I do this podcast. I'm with the lady across the table from me. She likes girls. We like girls together. And what else? What was the other one?
I think you got it all.
Okay, cool. I'm all over the place right now, but we're gonna get this shit going. You guys like, subscribe, comment, hop in the comments. Dennis, put the comments over there so you can see if people need to ask us some questions, because we will answer that shit in real time. Without further ado, let's get around to these topics. And I want to start with one because I want to see where everyone's head's at. And we're gonna start with you first. Do men and women communicate the same way?
Final answer: no.
What's different about it?
I do think that females tend to communicate with emotion and men tend to communicate logically. Obviously, there's mix and match in there, but the majority of females tend to communicate based solely off of emotion, instant reaction. So then there's just the miscommunication altogether from both parties.
Okay. My bad. One more thing. Just try to do your best to get real close to this bitch when you're talking.
Like this.
Yeah, but you can talk loud. People can hear you.
Okay.
And we're going to make it rock. What about you?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Women definitely, we argue with our emotions, and the logic kind of goes out the window. And then when a guy's trying to argue with you logically, there's no emotion involved usually. And then at a certain point, because we're reactive a lot of the time, then yeah, I feel like it gets you both off on the wrong foot.
I don't know. I feel like men, we're pretty straightforward, and we just get to what we gotta say. And like sometimes it's not always the easy thing to say, or like the candy coated version of it, and we can just kind of get over that. But I feel like, females, it's like you gotta decipher what it was, all the things that they're telling you, and then like you gotta like break through the cryptic message and try to get it. But,
Yeah, I agree with everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, and we'll go back around the table, who's more emotionally intelligent, males or females?
Men.
Why?
Because they have to stop themselves from punching a bitch in the face when she's up in his face. But a girl will fight and say the meanest shit with her words and cut deep, and
Women are mean.
women will emotionally manipulate men, and men have to hold themselves back even though they can be triggered or have like an emotional or reactive response. But if men were just as reactive emotionally as a lot of women are, women would not even stay another day. But men put up with a lot of shit from women.
damn, well put.
Right?
Yeah, I would say definitely women are a lot more impatient than guys are. Guys have to have a lot of patience to deal with, especially if we're emotional.
I don't know. I feel like, 9 times out of 10 when I'm having a conversation with, my partner or whatever, it's like if I derail, then the whole relationship's gonna derail. So I've gotta, be in tune with that and like think, okay, if I say this, what's it gonna lead to? But I don't know.
Like when I think of
females are
the
same.
term like emotionally intelligent, I think that it like sounds really pretty, and girls are like, we're so emotionally intelligent. It's like, no, we're just emotional, and we know how to communicate our emotions. And maybe like men don't know how to communicate their emotions as much, because a lot of times they'll just take it to, okay, you want to get emotional, let's take it there.
Right.
So I don't know, to be able to like hold that back instead of ruining a fucking day. Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I get emotional, sometimes it could ruin my whole day. Like
Definitely.
the whole day kind of goes downhill.
What about you? Who's more emotionally intelligent?
I mean, I tend to feel like women are. I mean, I understand that women, and they can be, and the majority of women, tend to react based on their emotions. But, I mean, there are a good chunk of women, myself included, that are just more emotionally intelligent than the average male out there.
Okay. What makes you emotionally intelligent? Like, what is it to you?
I mean, I think just being able to take emotion out of the conversation. Take emotion out of the conversation, start looking at facts, start looking at...
And you think women are better at that overall?
I think some women, not a lot.
Well, that's the thing. Who's better at it? Male or female?
Majority. I mean,
You just had 2 women tell you no, that they can't take their emotions out of a conversation.
I mean, what was the first question? Are women more logical
No,
or
it was
emotional?
it was
Who's the better communicator?
not who's better. Do they communicate different? And you guys had brought up that women communicate with emotions. You included.
So then to be
Yeah.
emotionally intelligent, you would communicate with no emotions.
Not necessarily. The way I see it is to be an emotionally intelligent person, you need to be able to process your emotions, feel them, don't ignore them,
Right.
but then make a choice after that's done. So
Like feel them, not like react to them.
yeah, and I mean, you use that word reactive. You know what I mean? And when it comes to communication, emotionally weak men end up in prison. They're the ones who hit women. They're the you said it. You know what I mean? Like that. They're the ones who commit crimes. They're the ones who shoot up schools. They're the ones who just road rage. All of those things. You know what I mean? That's a man who can't handle his emotions, right? So, and because men are more prone to violence from kids, you know what I mean, playing sports and all that other junk, we're more prone to violence. When we are emotional, that's the first thing we want to do when we can't handle our emotions, right? Women aren't as violent as men, so the first thing isn't to smack the shit out of a man, it's to either cry, yell, be sad, you know. So same we're both emotional, but like in that argument with a female, if a man was having that same type of argument with that same tone and those same words being sprayed back and forth with another man, it would go into fighting. But we know we can't fight you.
Right.
So we have to process our emotions, settle down, and then make a decision based on how we feel and the situation at hand, which is why we pull it back and think logically and stick to the facts on what happened, not how you feel about what happened.
But I also feel like emotionally intelligent, you have to be in control of your emotions, and there's so many men that are emotionally stunted. So
What do you mean by that?
emotionally stunted, like they're not willing to express and be vulnerable and express their emotions. So if you're not willing to even put your emotions out there, then how can you be emotionally intelligent?
Do you think that most women give men a safe space to be vulnerable?
I mean, we can blame women for that, but why wouldn't the man take responsibility for his own actions and his own emotions and, you know, open up if he feels like he needs to be able to open up?
Because we've tried that, and it typically turns women off. As soon as a man starts crying, your pussy dries up. You know what I mean? If a man falls in front of you, your pussy dries up. You know what I mean? So we're not allowed to show weakness because we're supposed to lead.
Or if a man ever cried in front of his girlfriend and then used it against him later. Like, remember when you were being a bitch, you know?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Women do those things. So it's like we open up and then you use it against us later. And it's like, well, that's why I don't open up. That's why I don't get vulnerable, because most women don't give men the space to be that. And then, so here's the thing. Like I said about the violence, our biggest weapon is violence. Women's biggest weapon is manipulation in words. So, when we do open up, you guys can turn what we're saying into how we made you feel, and now my opening up has nothing to do with anything anymore except for how it made you feel. You see what I'm saying? So now that I said something, you don't like how I said it, but you told me to open up. You told me to tell you how I feel. That's why it's like when a man finally does open up and tell you about yourself, you're like, where the fuck is all this coming from? If this is how you really feel, why are you here? And it's like, well, this shit's been bottled up because I haven't had a chance to say any of this. Now I'm backed into a corner and I've lost it. The intelligence of my emotions is gone. So now this is who you are. Bam, 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 bam. And then you're like, oh, I can't believe you feel this way. And then it's back on you. And now I have to make you feel better.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I just don't, again, you have to take responsibility. Men have to take responsibility for their emotions and who they are and the environment that they're choosing to put themselves in. You know, copping out and saying, hey, a woman's gonna, cry or, call me a little bitch because I'm crying. I mean, I also don't think you need to cry to be emotional. Like, you can still be emotionally intelligent and have control over your emotions without breaking down and crying every 5 minutes.
But you don't think by not crying and not spazzing out and not always addressing our feelings is an actual control of the emotion? It's like, I felt it. I was angry. I reeled that shit back in so I can make a better decision.
Right. Yeah.
That to me is emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of goes along the line of communication as well, because at that point you're both communicating on a completely different level. You're communicating from a non-logical versus a logical, right? And it's going to clash no matter which way you put it. But the way to get around that is you have to establish like a level of communication, as if, taking a deep breath and a thoughtful pause and recollecting your thoughts before you even start to get emotional is something that I'm in the process of learning. But up until that point, so you can have that emotional intelligence to realize and recognize, like, hey, this isn't going the way I want it to. So I got to take a deep breath and realize, okay, what is the ultimate goal? Like, what am I trying to achieve here? And then going from there and then working that out with your partner.
I think the easiest way to help male and female communication this is for the males, this is what you need to do. When an argument or feelings or emotions are starting to get high, obviously logic is going to be low. That being said, before you just get burnt out and not want to listen to whatever she's talking about, stop her in her foot tracks and ask this question. Do you want me to hear you and listen so you can vent? Or do you want me to give you solutions to a problem? Because she'll tell you, like, I just want to express how I feel. I don't need you to try and fix it. I just need you to express how I feel about the situation, right? And you can't take offense to however the hell she feels about it. You just need to listen and let her vent, to give her space to be emotional. If she wants a problem solved, because the emotion may not have anything to do with you. She could have had a bad day at work. And our initial reaction and response is to be like, oh, well, if this is what happened at work, try A, B, C, D, and E, and F. And she may not want that. Because if you were having the same conversation with her girl, she'd be like, well, this and this happened, and such did this. And her girl's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry that you went through that. And the conversation continues to happen because you've got two emotional people understanding being in those shoes together. You know what I'm saying? So correct me if I'm wrong. Would it be easier for you to express your emotions if your man asked you, do you want solutions or do you want me to hear you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't talking out of my ass.
No, yeah, and I definitely agree when emotions are high, logic is low. And I think that what I'm speaking from is like majority and like the people out there that we see like on social media or TV or like people that we may know, like it may not reflect like how I actually operate.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Every one of these topics is generalities, majority rules. Exceptions don't make rules. You know what I mean?
I would love if there was more healed men and women, but just majority that I'm a life coach and I do astrology and stuff. So
damn, girl.
Yeah.
Messing my books up.
I think when I go through like the process of like I start feeling some type of way, I'm like, I go through the process. I'm like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of being vulnerable right now? Like, at the end of the day, I got to keep this shit going, and we got to just, lead the way.
Yeah, so that's another reason. And what he just said is another reason why men don't express how they're feeling, because it's our job to lead. It's our job to be men.
Right, but why can't you do both? Why can't you have? I'm not saying you have to cry. I mean, I'm not on board with the criers, but why can't you be in a safe space, a healed space where you feel like you can express your emotions from a safe space and be emotional and be vulnerable?
Okay, well,
why is that so hard?
I'll give you this analogy. If we were all in the Marines and I'm your general and I'm leading you into battle, I'm not the first one out there. I'm telling y'all what to do. But if I'm panicking and dealing with emotions, are you going to trust me to lead you into this war?
Who?
Okay, then. So I can't do that in a relationship either, because I'm the head of this household. I'm the one who has to make sure shit keeps going. Because when shit hits the fan, I have to act. I can't worry. I can't panic. I can't be sad. I can be angry, but I also need to control how I use that anger. You see what I'm saying? So not only have A, women not given us a safe space to be vulnerable, but B, it isn't conducive to the leading that you need and that you're attracted to. Not just you, any woman. You don't want your man to be panicking when shit hits the fan. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, fear is an emotion, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if a robber breaks into the house and I'm scared and I say, you go check it out. Relationship's over.
You got it, babe.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not gonna go out there and die. It's like, no, I gotta go, right? I gotta get my ass down there and go risk my life for the sake of the family. That's why men just don't do it, because it's not conducive to what we're built to do, what we're supposed to do, what's expected of us. And we know this, we understand this. And the ones who don't get the benefits of actually being a leader. You know what I mean? But I digress. Anybody have anything else to say before?
I mean, we could take this on a different level too.
Go ahead.
because-
Go ahead. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you're made of.
Right. So, to your point, I mean, because ultimately what you're saying is that men are more emotionally intelligent, right? So, realistically,
Well, everyone at the table said it except you.
how many of these strong relationships where the men are leading and the men are, having to go out and fight the robbers, how many of these relationships actually exist today? I mean, I feel like there's more single moms out there who are having to make sure shit's happening and shit's being held down, and they're being the man at all times. So since women are having to step up nowadays and they don't always have that man, because I mean, that's rare. That it is. The man leading is fucking rare these days. So to my point, if women are having to take on that male energy, that male role, handling shit on their own, why wouldn't they be more emotionally intelligent?
Well, because now they're taking on two roles. So you definitely can't be more emotionally intelligent when you're doing two roles.
Why?
Because
You have to be.
that's too much on your plate. That's more than anyone bargained for. On top of that, we have to hold women accountable to their choice on partners. You guys get to pick who you want to be your boyfriend. The man is going to pick who he commits to, but you pick who you sleep with, you pick who gets attention, you pick who gets time, you pick who gets access to you. So you have to be accountable for who you fall for and what they're capable of.
100%, but
So-
you act like there's a long line of eligible men who are willing to be strong leaders just available out there.
I mean, there are.
I guess he's saying, then why did you pick him in the first place to then end up a single mother?
Well, right, I wouldn't.
That's what
but
he's saying
that's
about the
what's happening.
accountability.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening.
and on top of that, what
So
I've
then it's like
realized,
jaded.
what I've realized in today's society is that majority of what men do just is never good enough for a woman today. Like women, if he's not making a certain amount of money, you're not going to respect him. If he's not a certain height, a certain frame, you're not going to respect him. If he's not have a certain status, all of these traits wrapped into one person, you're not going to respect him. Maybe not you in particular, but majority of women. Like I've had women on this podcast say that a firefighter's salary is not enough for her to, and that's the manliest man you can fucking find is a damn firefighter. You know what I mean? But he's not going to give you that Cabo Tulum lifestyle and the cute bags and stay-at-home mom shit. You may have to work. It's still going to be a 60, 40, 70, 30 thing where he's paying majority of the bills, but you're still going to have to work. So, but even the men who can do it all still deal with women that are complaining about shit. You know what I mean? Like it's always something. You don't spend enough time. Well, I have to make all the money. I don't need all the money, and now I'm spending too much fucking time with you. You know what I mean? Like it's never enough. So that is a huge reason as to why a lot of women today are in a masculine role, because they do have to go out and work and they do have to provide. So in return, it's harder to respect a man and allow him to lead. I mean, I get it, but if every woman stopped working today, things would be a lot closer to the way they were in the 70s, where a lot more women were at home raising children and being feminine and not having to worry about anything, because there wouldn't be double the buyers.
Right, but do you think men are willing to step up to the plate? So if all women stopped working, are men today willing to step up to the plate? And
Absolutely, because it would be easier, because everything would be cheaper.
Well, shit,
It's
fine.
supply and demand. So if I'm Fulton Homes, and 30 years ago, 80% of my buyers were male, and that's only half the population, then my prices have to be competitive with my buyers. But if you add the same amount of males and females to these things, the supply hasn't gone up, but the demand did. So now these prices go up. So if every woman stopped working, then men would be the only ones buying houses and they'd be able to provide for their family on a fireman's salary. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean,
But would they want to?
would
The men want to.
absolutely.
Would they want to sew?
Men need to be needed. Men want to lead. Men want submissive, feminine women. However, in today's economy, you can't do that on a normal job. Most back in the day, the manager of Lowe's could provide for a woman and 2.3 kids. You can't do that on $65,000 today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like middle class today is 115. Like that's to start middle class. You know what I mean? So, and if at six figures, that's only 15% of the country making that. I think it's like 17 now. But either way, half of those are women. So you've only got 7 or 8.5% of men capable of providing for a family. So on top of that, you want them to be tall, handsome, charming, funny, romantic, sweet, dangerous, interesting, exciting, spontaneous, all of these things, and you want them to pick you and only you. And there's only 7% of them that have the income. And then if you throw 6 feet into it, you've just put your attraction into a less than 1% man. So women over here saying that all these men ain't shit, but it's like you're segregated to the same type of man. The men who are capable of attracting majority of the women. When you look around, I challenge you guys to do this because I did it. I sent her a video the other day. I need to send it here so we can put it on the fucking screen. Dennis, put the camera on all of us. Next time you go anywhere, do you guys eat In-N-Out?
Every once in a while, yeah.
Okay. Next time you're in and out, go inside. Go inside. Don't go in the drive-thru. Go inside and just look around. Or Walmart or Target and just look around. And I want you to be very conscious of everyone's looks in there. Your average male today is 5'7" to 5'9", making anywhere from $37,000 to $54,000 a year, overweight, and that is the majority of men. What I realized is they're not just invisible to women, they're invisible to men too. And you can probably relate to this. You can relate to this.
Right.
You work at a gym, you see people all the time. Most people are just fillers. But when that tall, buff son of a bitch walks in, your head turns. Or when that short, stocky motherfucker walks by, you notice him because he's worked hard to get something that turns your head. But majority of people go unnoticed. So,
but does that mean they can't find a partner or a suitable
no,
relationship?
it's just that.
So you're telling people to lower their standards?
I'm not telling people to lower their standards. I'm telling people to be more realistic. Because the amount of people that get your attention is smaller on the grand scheme of things than the people who don't. Because that's have you guys heard those terms sapiosexual, demisexual, pansexual? All of those are like, I just need an intellectual, I'm attracted to an intellectual connection. You know what I mean? And it's like, bullshit. You have to have some type of physical connection first, attraction first, before you give anybody a chance to intellectually turn you on. You see what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure we've all dated somebody at one point for just looks, and then that was very short-lived. I think after a certain point.
Yeah, everyone wants more than looks.
Right.
So saying I'm sapiosexual, demisexual, pansexual is irrelevant because for it to be long-lasting, yes, it has to be a lot more than just looks. Okay? Most people find intelligence attractive. Most people find humor attractive. Most people find substance attractive. You know what I mean? But what you don't do is give somebody just a chance to show you that they're funny, intelligent, or have substance unless you're already attracted to them. You see what I'm saying? So it's a waste of time to claim I need an intellectual. Duh, we all do.
You know what?
I mean?
Yeah, but men will sleep with a woman.
Women will sleep with hot bartenders.
I guess, but I'm not sleeping with a woman that can't hold a conversation.
I mean, fair. But maybe you haven't hooked up with a woman just because she was good looking. I don't cap. We've done it. We've done it together. Don't lie.
and then never wanted to see that person again.
It doesn't matter. You'd still do it.
Okay, well, I'm on the market for a girlfriend, not just someone that's pretty.
I get it.
There's a lot of pretty women out
I get
there.
it, but that's everybody when it comes to a relationship. Men will sleep with a box of rocks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But we're not going to take her serious. Mm-hmm. Just like women friend zone all of these average ass men that you don't notice. And why? Because he's funny. Because he's smart. All of these things that you're attracted to, but he just ain't it. You see what I'm saying? So now he's
Or
in
he
the friend
smells
zone.
funny
Women
or
al-
something.
Women also have false expectations. I think that falls in the lines of that. It's like we all have this ideal, like, dream guy, and we all have these. Sometimes it's not that our standards are too low or they're too high. It's just we have these false expectations. But in reality, if you were to look at what are the qualities, if you look at that versus the false expectations, because you're right, not every guy is gonna have like, over that, 6-figure income can provide for his family. It's a very small percentage. So it's about looking at the qualities that you want in that person versus feeding off of your false expectations of somebody.
I totally agree.
And building something together, right?
Yeah, I mean ideally, and that's what people should be doing. But again, like I'm saying, and again, this is just generally speaking, and there's nothing wrong with it. Men understand women's biological attractions. Women don't understand men's biological attractions. As a matter of fact, as women fall out of men's biological attractions, they shame men for what they're attracted to. So what I mean by that is an 18-year-old woman looks at an 18-year-old boy the same way a 30-year-old man looks at a 30-year-old woman. That 18-year-old woman has a higher position in life than that 18-year-old boy. That 30-year-old man has a higher position in life than that 30-year-old woman. You see what I'm saying? At 18, she don't want no boy. She wants a man. She wants somebody who has shit. You guys are attracted to these things, and it's totally fine, and you fucking should be. You should want a man who can take care of you. You should want a man that makes you feel safe. Matter of fact, safety is the most important thing to a woman in a relationship. Now, there's a lot of things that can make you feel safe, whether that's income, whether that's the size of this man, whether that's what he does for a living, how he carries himself, confidence, all these things, and you should be attracted to that because you're not as physically strong as this person, and it would be nice to not have to worry, right? Now, men are attracted to youth, purity, and beauty. Yeah, thank you. And beauty being the most important thing. Like, a man will date a woman that he's not, that isn't up here on his attraction level, but he's not going to pretend that you're this hot. You see what I'm saying? Women will know you're this ugly, but because you check all these other boxes, you're now this attractive.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm
No,
saying?
you're this short.
Yeah,
Kevin Hart, but
you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
But doesn't mean that we're not attracted to you. You're just not our ideal. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But also, 9 out of 10 times we don't want our ideal either, because all those girls that we like on Instagram, the models and fitness influencers or the BBL chicks, we want to fuck. We don't want to take them serious, and we never would, because she's not a good person. Nobody with that amount of attention is going to be a good person. Yeah. I wouldn't be. If I had women trying to fly me out to Dubai, I would be a terrible person. I'd be arrogant as hell. But so nobody blames you. But I forgot where I was going with
Men
all of
get
this.
flued out.
Yeah, right.
Men don't give. Do it?
I'm sure.
It happens,
I'm
but
sure
not on the level it does for women.
Flying that man
It happens. Fly me out, and I'm gonna treat you like that girl did Future. Like, you thought I was putting out? Please.
Did he send her ass back?
Yeah, he's like, I'm good, love.
Yeah. You know what else I do see in the gym too that we talk about a lot, even the last couple of years, are like those type of chicks with the dudes that they're with, and sometimes we're like, how the fuck does that work? But it's probably, like the first thing we all jump to is, oh, he's probably loaded. or
Yeah.
Or sometimes they want to be the attractive one in the relationship, and they want the attention, and they're like, oh yeah, I want a man with a dad bod, or like he doesn't have as much attention, like he doesn't have an Instagram, he has a couple followers, he's a good man, because they know how it is, you know. Like sometimes that's why
Just like the headache girl, like you don't want the headache girl, she may not want the headache guy. However,
I know a lot
again,
of women who want ugly men. They're like, I like my men mid because you can't have women looking at you.
But I mean, either way, see, here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with that is women.
There've been women on the show that have said
No,
that.
I know, I get they say that, but even in the mid,
Right.
yeah, even in the mid ugly guy, he's typically 5'11" or taller. You know what I mean?
somewhere tall.
And just being tall alone, based on percentages, he's caught your attention. You see what I'm saying? You don't know, like I'm telling you guys, go to the store and look around and really look at everybody in there, not just the people that draw your attention, and be like, damn, I would have never looked at you if that thought didn't pop in my head, like, let's really check out who's around here. Like, people are normal as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Most people are average as fuck. Dad bod built, like they're built like Will Ferrell. They're 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9". So they're eye level with most women, which isn't attractive to most women unless he's built or extremely handsome. You know what I mean? Those are the people that turn your heads. But the motherfucker you don't notice is that guy dropping his kid off to school. That guy buying a work shirt from Walmart. Like, so even if they're medium ugly, he's still tall. Or he has status. For instance, like promoters. It could be an ugly ass promoter, but if you don't have to wait in line and you can get in a section, he's gonna get attention from women. You see what I'm saying? Or money, obviously, or reputation. He could have some money or some status and have been heard about. You know what I mean? Like, girl, that thing's to his kneecap. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
that stuff happens too, because women don't want men other women don't want. Point blank period. You're not.
Or you'll just be in a relationship with them just to be in a relationship, and like then get into a real relationship and be like, oh, haha, I was on birth control and my hormones were fucked up, and I guess I was attracting a woman.
Well, I mean, true, but
Because I'm looking at my past relationships, like
yeah, but
they were all mid, but I was also on birth control, and birth control makes you like not want to reproduce, so you're not attracted to pheromones and like manly, like hairy chest get you pregnant, you know, like it's like like what is that, like the primal instincts are almost like gone.
Yeah, you're not looking for safety, you're looking for the same thing. You're looking for
Yeah,
something
I
to
think because there's a
accomplish.
lot of like PCOS. I had hypothyroid. Like I was on like the highest dose you could be on, and I had like gained a bunch of weight. But now that I think about it, I'm like, did I want a mid man, or was I just hormonally fucked up?
And that's what I'm talking about, because it wouldn't have been a long-term thing, which is why a lot of women, once they get off birth control, leave that man. Like, it's like, oh, we're ready to have kids, I'll get off birth control. Now you're off birth control and you're not attracted to this man because he's girly and you didn't notice it.
Right?
Sometimes I just wonder if like they just worked together, or like
That's
they
the
just build
only,
a
that is the
connection,
only
like,
way
doing-
that intelligent humor, substance,
Yeah.
that's the only way that guy gets a chance. Mutual friends, or you guys fucking work together.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, you're not giving that guy a chance if you're not physically attracted to him.
And what if the 6'6" guy comes in?
Yeah.
Can he pull from
Absolutely.
the dude, or do you think
Absolutely.
that you know?
No, absolutely. Maybe not to keep her, but she'll go have fun. Women cheat too, but women check out of relationships mentally and don't tell anybody else but themselves.
They're like,
So-
we've been broken up for a month, but I've been out of it for like 2
Yeah,
years.
So
we
in
all
their
know
mind, it wasn't
We all know
cheating.
those
Right.
ones. Yeah.
But men are like, what the fuck? They're like, you didn't notice? They're like, we don't notice anything. 2
He
years.
didn't say nothing.
Right?
Okay, which one do you guys want to do next? The paternity test one, or what was the one you said you liked?
I think the one that I really liked too was the feminine traits versus the masculine traits. That was probably my favorite one.
We kind of covered that a little bit.
Yeah, and
with
we
what
already
she
kind of did
said.
that.
But let's go around on it.
Ask it, because I didn't hear
Okay.
the question.
How come when a woman doesn't have a man, she picks up masculine traits? But when a man doesn't have a woman, he doesn't pick up feminine traits.
Because they don't stay at home with their parents.
What do you mean?
Because a woman would stay feminine if, like, she had to be, like, brushed away with a man to ask the father to take her. But now we're like, I'm going to go to college and be independent and go have fun. And then we're like, we have to. Like, duh, you have to go pay your bills and you have to pay, like, a car payment. You're like, oh, I actually have to, like, apply for things and, you know, be independent. And it's like, ooh, I kind of like this. I get to, like, have some freedom. And so, of course, you're going to pick up masculine traits if you have to do for your own. Because I worked from, like, when I was 16 because I wanted to get out of my parents' house. So I got out at, like, I started working at 16 and I stopped working when I was, what, like 28. So, you know, when you pay all these bills and do all these things.
But is that the only thing that's like masculine, or is that just like what Troy was saying? He's like, that's
I would
just
say,
being
yeah.
an adult,
And then social
right?
media also is like, go have your hoe face, girl.
Right.
I think
Don't do that.
I feel like testosterone has a lot to do with that. Like, or estrogen and testosterone. Like, women have the ability to suppress their estrogen when they have to take on those masculine, but men don't have that estrogen aspect where they can dampen their or they can't dampen their testosterone to pick up female traits. I think it's, you know, just part of our the way that we're built. Is
I
that
mean, shit,
a
they could
woman
definitely
can
pick up some estrogen traits.
I was gonna say, so
We got some weak ass men too.
right. What traits are we considering masculine?
Assertiveness, dominance, competitiveness,
Why are those masculine
being
traits?
non-agreeable, because those aren't the biological traits of a woman. Like that's a woman who has had a rough life.
When I was doing for myself,
Agreeable
if a-
women aren't agreeable.
No.
Biologically?
Non-agreeable women
Non-agreeable.
are masculine.
when I was working, if a guy
by nature, women are agreeable. They're not extremely competitive. They're docile. They're what is it? They're not as assertive.
Confrontation.
Yeah, they're definitely not as confrontational. For instance, like just to give you an idea, even from little kids, when boys play games, there's a hierarchy in whatever game they're playing. They're playing soccer, basketball, baseball. Everybody, there's a captain of a team. Everybody has a position and a role, and if they can't figure out a disagreement, they either shoot for ball or play rock, paper, scissors, and discussion over. Game continues. Women tend to play egalitarian games, whether it be house or hopscotch or something where there's not a ton of competition. And if they get into any kind of disagreement, the game's over because of the emotional side of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, well, fuck this bitch. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. So by nature, women don't have the same
But by nature or by society's
by
standards?
nature. By nature. And in society today, yes, women are picking up masculine traits because it's not natural for a woman to be hyper competitive, hyper assertive.
we're also survivors. That is within our nature too. So that is why we also pick up the masculine traits too, because we are natural survivors. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I would say when I was like working like that, it almost like went to my head where I was like, oh, if a man's trying to do for me, that's a red flag. Like, why are you trying to do so much for me? What do you want in return? Oh, do I have to blank, blank, blank? But I saw it as like, no, like I was a very 50-50 person. And so I think the masculine was like, if you try to do for me, I don't want you to ever have one up on me. Instead of like, oh, well, I'll submit. Like, submit sounded like a really dirty word to me. And so I felt masculine in the sense that, like, I'm equal to you. You don't, like, neither of us submit. We both just do, like, call our own shots. Like, go to your place now. Bye. Like, I never saw myself in, like, a partnership where it was like give and take or masculine feminine. I was like, ooh, that sounds gross.
But
So I've been on both sides. Now I'm like, oh, Jessica.
But even in the survivor mode, if you just broke it down to the most primitive of times, survival mode would be, let's say your husband died, or a rival tribe comes through and kills all the men. your survival mode at that point is to become one of the powerful men in that new tribe's new wife. You know what I mean? But not to fight. That's not in your nature.
I think nowadays when it comes to surviving, we're gonna go with whatever is, adaptable. We're gonna adapt and we're gonna figure out a way. And if it means that we have to rise to a higher intelligence, I feel like women have the ability to do so, just like a man does in that aspect. But I also feel like if it's more acceptable, or if it's more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but if it's better to submit to a man and you know what I mean, like a stay-at-home wife or stay-at-home mom or whatever, and if that's gonna make your quality of life thrive, you're gonna go with whatever's gonna give you that better quality of life. But if being on your own, like say you don't have a man to defend your honor or defend your home or whatever, then you have to pick up you are almost like forced out of what comes to you naturally, because part of our nature is to survive. If we don't have somebody to do that for us, we're going to step up and do it ourselves.
Well, that's fine. But to me, I feel like that's just being an adult. If you don't have a partner or someone who can pick up your slack, or do for you or provide for you, then you obviously need to make shit happen on your own, which is being an adult. However, like I said, with the 18-year-old woman doesn't want the 18-year-old boy, you got your value up front at 18, and you had the ability to attract a man who could do that for you. So as long as a woman stays pretty, pure, and feminine and friendly, she can have any guy she wants. Today's women think that they just can have any guy that they want without working on themselves or without being of value to said man. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the biggest fucking problem today, is that 3, 4, 5s, and 6s think that they deserve 9 and 10 men. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you do have tons of sexual options, but for a man to take you serious, you have to provide value to his life. And the thing is the type of guy that you want, who could put you in that feminine role, even though you should be there anyway. How do you separate yourself from all of the options that he has? He's already separated himself from all of the options you have, which is why he piqued your interest. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But women don't ever look at it that way. It's me, 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 me. What are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me? Why should I do this? Why should I submit? She just said it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the mindset of it. And it's like, no, you are asking an exceptional man to drop all his bitches for you.
I don't think I've ever heard a man say, I'm not going to do husband duties when I'm in a boyfriend role. But you hear, like, I'm not going to do wife duties as a girlfriend. Like, I was very much there. I was like, sir, chill out. Like, relax. So.
But that's not, but yeah.
But I don't think a man's goal is to be married.
No, we do want to, I think a majority of men do want to get married.
At a certain point.
Yeah, but we have, the difference is we have a lifetime. Because we get better as we age. We create more value.
And your sperm be doing its thing
forever.
Time.
You know what I'm saying? So
7-year-olds.
We're not in a rush to do it. And that's, again, that's what I'm talking about. That's the problem, is the trust fund baby is trying to tell the self-made millionaire how to spend his money. Mm-hmm. So as a woman outgrows her value, she gets upset that the men at her age who now have value don't want her. And it's like, sweetie, you didn't want me when I was your age, when we were younger in our 20s. But now that you're ran through, burnt out, every failed relationship hasn't worked, and you're ready to settle down now, I'm supposed to just pick you over every fucking body? Kiss my ass.
Ain't
You rejected me then. You know, it's just like Mike Jones' song. Back then they didn't want me. Now they all on me. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So
was he ready to be that man at 20 back then?
No, he wasn't, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you, here's the thing: you shouldn't even have been dealing with him. You should have been dealing with somebody in their 30s who was already ready. But you also didn't want to settle down. You wanted to spend your money the way you wanted to spend it. So now these 30, 35, 40-year-old men want to spend their money that they fucking earn how they want to spend it. Which means I'm not settling down with you. You're fucking high. I just got attractive. Bitches just started liking me. You're just hot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? So
life's weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but it doesn't have to be. The thing is most people didn't tell us any of this.
Yeah.
These are things
they made it seem like weird if you were like 20 with like a 30-year-old or like 25.
Well, shit, back then it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, when I was growing up on TV, it was the thing for the freshman girl to go out with the senior quarterback. You know what I mean?
All that's
Now
cool.
it's taboo and a problem that
Yeah.
senior quarterback's fucking R. Kelly. And you know what I mean?
Oh my god.
That's what I mean. That's how bad they make it seem. Like, he's 18, she's 14. What are we doing here? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that was the thing back then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And when people got married younger, because of what I was saying, you could fucking provide for a family on a
Yeah.
better salary.
Yeah,
So you got
society
married at
and
24.
the economy are definitely not
Was lifespan
setting people
shorter?
up for success.
No, lifespan wasn't shorter, but shit was more affordable. It was
Yeah.
easier for a woman to submit to a man with a normal job.
The economy and society got people acting kind
And
of
on top of that, that woman had to be realistic because her options were in her immediate town. Who's vibrating? Anyway, oh, that's your shit. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Her options were in her immediate town or whatever club she went to, and they had to talk on the phone and get to know each
yeah.
other and all that. It wasn't just, I'm mad at my boyfriend,
didn't
here's my
have-
ass on the sink, and have 35 fucking DMs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
so...
people are more accessible now.
Yeah, and
It's a game changer.
and because
Yeah.
people are more accessible now, it
They're
makes it much
skewing.
more difficult for women to be satisfied with the man that they have. Because
Like,
there's
you see
always
this NFL guy in my DMs?
exactly there's always another motherfucking higher value man trying to fuck, and you think he wants you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I dated this guy for, like, no, you didn't. You were in the sex only zone. He took you out because it's nothing to him. He had a whole girlfriend and with kids at home
You wanna
this
know
entire
what
time.
some shit is that Beyonce sang that Irreplaceable song with a husband? Why would she have me singing that? And she had a whole husband.
That's
who provided for her.
irreplaceable. That is the most
Right. I could
irreplaceable
have another
motherfucker in the
you in
world.
a minute.
And she's full of shit.
Why would she tell me to sing that? But she had a billionaire husband.
she can't see? Jennifer Lopez is the only exception to a woman who's been able to float at equal value men that she's dated. You can't name one other woman who had that guy
It's because she's a
who
Leo.
upped that guy. Not one. Kim started that way with Ray J and then continuing to go up, but since Kanye, it's been down fucking hill.
Ain't that about a bitch?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to find... Because, explain it to me. If I'm a billionaire, Jay-Z, and Beyonce leaves me, I can go downstairs of my flat and go pick up the receptionist and make her a new Beyonce. However, if I'm a billionaire who's not Jay-Z and Beyonce wants to be my new wife, why in the fuck would I pick her? Why?
I feel like Sierra upgraded.
Ah...
I mean, doesn't he make pretty good money?
Russell's a nicer guy, but Future's that nigga.
I guess. But he has like a ton of kids. Like Russell now has like a lot of time for
Maybe.
just a couple.
I will give Sierra credit. Everybody she's been with was at the peak of their career while she was with them.
she knew what she was doing.
She was doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got them goodies, I guess.
Yeah. Just still.
I mean, think about it. Bow Wow was up fucking here when they were with together. Future was when he dropped Dirty Sprite. They were together.
Shit,
You-
Dirty Sprite
you know what I mean?
2. She was
Russell
doing
got,
it.
Russell got his biggest contract when they got together.
Fuck.
She might be onto something.
Right? I'm just saying, I sang that song with my whole chest. I can have another you in a minute.
And that's the mindset that most women have. Is,
I'm like, they sold us
women
the
say this
agenda.
shit all
It's
the
their
time.
fault.
I can have a man if I want, not the one you want. If you could have the one you want, you'd have him. And the reason I know that is because if you could have $1 million, you're not gonna be like, I don't really want it right now. I'll when I'm ready for $1 million is when I'll accept this. No, you're gonna fucking take it. You
Let
see
me
what I'm
hold
saying?
on
So
to
if you
this
had your
20 a little
goddamn
longer.
dream man knocking your door down, you're not gonna be like, not ready. Like, that's not how it fucking goes. But anyway,
I love that.
anybody else got something else to say?
No, you know what? So I was talking to this younger girl. She's like 25, and she was telling me about this guy she's dating. He's 29, right? He's never had a job. He lives in his mom and dad's house, and his dad pays for everything because I guess his dad is loaded, right? And he funds her like his like party lifestyle and everything. And I asked her, I said, well, what is so like, are you gonna tell people like what's so attractive about that? And she's like, well, I like to be the carer. Like, I want to care for him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's the baby. And I was like, well, what does he have to offer you? She straight up said his dad's money. So I
Sounds
don't
like
know,
she wants
man.
daddy.
Yeah, that's what's going on, huh? She's trying to make a move on the
She gonna be a
dad.
stepmom.
But is that like something where like females feel like, or women, you know, they want to be with a guy because they want to take care of them and maybe change them and.
I think that women make the mistake of thinking that they're going to change the man that they choose.
Right.
But I do also believe that it's in a woman's nature, and it's something that they want. Most women want to do is to be a nurturer and take care and provide for their men. The only difference today versus back then is marriage was duty, and that was your job back then. Now women stomp around saying you have to earn that out of me. I will be feminine when you pull it out of me. I will be wifey when you pull it out of me, when you show me that you're worthy of me being wifey, which doesn't make sense because he's already shown you that he's husband material, which is why you're with him in the fucking first place. You see what I'm saying? Men don't have the opportunity to be delusional and or say things like, "Oh, I'll be masculine when you earn it."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm masculine majority of the
Monday,
week.
Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, but on Wednesdays and Sundays I like to cross dress, and you have to do it. And when you become feminine enough, I'll throw these dresses away. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But women can sit there and say, "I'll be feminine when the right man makes me feminine. When the right man shows me that I can submit. When the right man shows me I can be safe."
Right.
And it's like, here's what you're missing: is the right man ain't finna wait for your ass
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
feminine. I'm
That's
gonna
why
go
they're
find someone who's
single mothers.
already feminine.
You know what I think?
That's why they're single.
I think a
mothers.
lot of people didn't have a dad around. That was masculine.
Because their mom was masculine and ran the nigga off.
Yeah, but that just like that song, I ain't had no
Really,
daddy
nigga?
around when I was growing up. That's why I'm wild and I don't give a fuck. If the dad wasn't around, like to be masculine, of course that woman's not gonna be in her feminine. She's like, all right, mom, you right. Like gonna take it, you know.
I mean,
in
I
your
feel-
footsteps. My mom was the breadwinner too.
I feel bad for this generation because a lot of these women did raise these children by themselves.
Yeah.
Some of it by choice because you are incentivized to leave a man. If you got married, there's alimony, there's child support, there's all kind of things that benefit you. There's no benefit in a man for getting married. Before it was, I get married and I get to pass on my legacy and I'm given a woman, and now I'm giving a fucking partner and all of these things in there, and it's the easiest contract in the world to break. So it's like, why do I get married? What am I getting out of it that I didn't have from a girlfriend? So women leave
That's
these
a good topic.
relationships, huh?
So that's a good topic.
It is. We can ask y'all, Mr. and Mrs. The hell was I saying? So these women are raising these kids, and a woman, you got to think about this. The majority of the school system is women. The boys are being raised by women and come out into manhood not being able to, they never got to express their emotions because they were controlled at school and at home by women, saying that being rowdy is not good and being the boy that you are is not good. Calm the fuck down, all these other things. So now you've got these bitch ass men out in society who sit in the car while this woman pumps gas, who don't open doors, who aren't polite, who say whatever the fuck is on their mind and react to emotion. And these are the women, or these are the men that women are left dealing with today. You see what I'm saying? But whose fault was that? Because I'm not absolving men of responsibility, but a lot of times women, because they can, will manipulate a man into not seeing his children. You know what I mean? Not being able to be there for them. Moving away. Women do that
That's
shit
a
all the
cop-out.
time. Women do that shit
There's
all the
court
time.
for a
do.
reason.
Okay, but even court,
court for a reason.
even
Nope.
court, you can
No.
like
You can get, if you want child support and you want to take care of your fucking kids, you're going to take care of your fucking kids and you're going to find a way. That's what the court
It
system
depends
is there
on
for.
what state,
So,
and like if there's like the majority mother, where like a lot of states will just give it to the mother. Because
yeah, but they can
of-
still see them. They're not going to give 100% custody of them unless something's going on with that man. So
Yeah.
for them to be like, oh, she's stupid and she won't let me see my kids.
No, I get
No,
that,
go to
but
fucking
that's
court.
But that's a
your
rare
responsibility.
that's a rare case. And then on top of that, sometimes the kids don't want to go be with dad because there's a lot more structure with dad. You know what I mean? And human nature is the path of least resistance. So because women are more nurturing and more feminine, they have different relationships with children. And since children don't want to be seen and not heard, and that's typically how men do it. That's how it was done to me. You know what I mean? And men teach you things. It's like, no, put the video games down, put this down, come into the garage and come do this with me, and all of these things that make a man a man. And then on top of that, having a man in the house to show his daughters how to treat a woman. You see what I'm saying? So when women don't have that growing up and men don't see that growing up, that's why these kids get into adulthood and don't know how to be in a relationship themselves, because all they've been seeing from school till adulthood is feminine behavior. Just like the no bullying in school and all this other shit. Bullies help people more than they fucking hurt people. You know what I mean? To be
There's some
honest,
truth to
you know what
that.
I mean? Like
There's
there's more school shootings now that bullying is eliminated in school than there was when bullies were around there. You know what I mean? These nerds aren't fucking writing manifestos anymore because a bully, or back in the day, a bully knocked the fucking pin out of his hand. That's gay. You know what I mean? And move the fuck on. But like, now you can't say anything. You can't do anything. Everybody's feelings matter, and we've literally allowed insanity into our society where at a corporate fucking job I have to respect somebody's goddamn pronouns, and then they gave me a pronoun I didn't ask for. Cis male. No, just male, sweetie. Like, don't tell me that, oh no, you're a biological male. Like, bitch, you're a biological female. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Your sex is science. You can say gender is a construct if you want, but your sex is science. You were born with a uterus and ovaries. I was not. You know what I mean? I can't physically have a baby. That sex is not a social construct. Gender, if you want to say that it is, fine. I'm not addressing you by your gender. I'm not misgendering you. I called you by your biological sex. But if I were to sit there and say that, and go to work and say, I'm Troy, and then tomorrow I'm Steve, and you must address me as, because I'm identifying as Steve, and I have a totally different personality. No, that's a schizophrenic. He can't fucking work here. He needs to be in an insane asylum. But you get to show up one day and say, I'm Tracy now, and you must respect that, and I'm a woman, and I'm coming in the bathroom with you. You see what I'm saying? Like we're allowing this shit because they attacked masculinity and said it's toxic and that it's bad. Like majority of men are out here trying to hurt women, and that's never been the case. Men don't get up and go pick up garbage all fucking day to come home and oppress this bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing that so you can get your nails done. That's what that meme was. My hands look like this so hers can look like this. You see what I'm saying? Like, everything we do is for women. That's what all of this shit is. Women aren't architects and engineers and building houses. Men do that shit. None of us give a fuck where we live. Y'all wanted it. I didn't want this fucking house. She made me pick it.
Daddy, chill.
You know what I'm saying? If women didn't like nice shit, I would live in my fucking studio. I've got a couch, a refrigerator, a TV. I don't need all of this shit. That's why when you see a man's first apartment, it's a fucking mattress on the floor, a TV on the floor, and a goddamn chair. Like, we don't need all this shit, but women like it, so we do it for y'all. That's what we do. We've always done everything for y'all. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some bad apples out there, but most of the time it's because y'all didn't want their asses anyway, and they're so sexually frustrated that the only way they can do is act out on it because you guys are attracted to the best men, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But majority of men are not out here trying to hurt women. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We do what we do for women, to get women's attention. And that is the only reason we work hard in the first place. And then y'all got tricked into going to work. I don't want to work, so why the fuck do you want to do it so damn bad? Like, why? You didn't have to. Before you decided you wanted to go to work, you all got to stay at home and fucking cook and clean and raise kids.
You don't think there's women who want to work?
Oh, there are.
there's
or they want to do at least the job that they want to do. It's not like you got to go to a job like that they don't want to
I'm
do
not
so to
getting
provide.
dirty.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
I'm not building a house.
Like, here's a question. I want you guys to
I'm not cleaning sewers.
I want you to answer it truthfully. If you were getting paid $120,000 to work 60 hours a week to be a 60 hours a week,
man.
120 grand to clean sewers, or would you rather take a $55,000 a year job to work 40 hours a week to be an office manager? Which would you choose?
Office manager. I'm not working 60 hours a week. I have to sleep.
What does cleaning a sewer look like?
Disgusting.
Have you ever seen Ninja Turtles?
Oh
Yeah.
Okay, you're in where they live and you're scrubbing it with a
Where they
broom.
live.
On the bottom?
Yes.
You're scrubbing it?
You're up in that.
Like, are we
bitch.
talking water? Are we talking
Yes, water,
feces?
shit, everything.
Hazmat
Rats,
suit.
roaches.
Feces for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go office.
What about you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
definitely office.
that being said, it's not about work. It's not that you wanted to work. It's you wanted a title and you wanted some authority, right? But here's the thing: you always had authority over the house. All the man wanted to do was make sure that there was a meal home when he got home, and for you to not fucking talk his ear off when he walks through the door.
You are literally acting like there are men breaking down doors to be the dominant male and provide for women out there. Like, I would love to see it.
Okay,
I've been
well,
around for a long time.
A,
Not.
what's the point now? And B, majority of them now weren't raised by men to actually be this type of man. But
Right.
for the most part, I would say most men, a man's biggest thing, or the two biggest things, is respect and needed to be needed. Like, men need to be needed.
Do you guys split 50-50?
No.
No, he definitely pampers me. I definitely let him take the masculine role. Like, he's the bread, he's the provider. You know what I mean? It's his, it's our home, and he definitely respects my opinion. But at the end of the day, yeah.
And if he lost his job, you lost everything. Would you let her provide for you?
Not for long.
Not for long, because I'm gonna get back on my feet and do what I do so that I can get back to where I am the provider again.
And nor would she do it. Oh, I'm not saying you in particular, but I highly doubt. I mean, I truly believe that women have a 6 months to about a year and a half of taking care of a man without being pissed off.
So how long would you do it for?
So, knowing my husband, I've never known him to be down for long. He is one of those type of people that when he sees a vision, he plans and executes it. And I mean, when I first met him, he was getting ready to sell his house, and you know what I mean? Chase that vision, and then he met me and we fell in love. And it's like, okay, so I've never seen him, like, he has a vision, he executes it. And even if he decided, like, hey, I'm quitting, I'm rage quitting EOS, you know what I mean? I have a job and it's not probably enough to support all the bills. We definitely probably have to downsize a little bit because I definitely don't make as much. But yeah, he also, would find he's an entrepreneur. So he would find a different ways of making money to help
Right.
us provide for the household.
And I feel like that's a trait that. So to answer that question, so like, would you get pissed off after a year or 2 years? Yeah, if I wasn't doing shit and I was just sitting on the couch, you know what I mean, like doing whatever, then like, that's just a turn off, you know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to be with somebody like that, I don't think, or a man like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't last long if you were just to sit on the couch and just like, okay, I quit my job, but then
play
you just
video
like
games.
you give up trying. Like, where's the effort at? If you're not going to reciprocate my effort, then how is that building us for success? Relying solely on me as like when, you know what I mean? If the roles were to flip temporarily and then you were to get back up on your feet and everything's okay, we see the slow progress, okay, and then we're back up on top, okay, and then say there's a setback, you know what I mean? The thing is being supportive of each other. But if I also saw him slipping and just sitting on the couch, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Get your ass up off that couch and you go help me figure this shit out.
Yeah.
I'll get you a job at Quick Trip. I don't give a fuck. We
Right.
find a way.
Right.
But that's what it
But
comes
knowing
down
that
to.
he has those like qualities.
So
is
that's what
great.
I'm thinking. Like, it's about not having the false expectations. It's just expecting him to provide, expecting him to, you know what I mean, be the provider. But I also have a lot that I see in myself, my own self-worth and my quality and what I bring to the table is it may not be as much as him because that's not my role. My role is to support and nurture and, help maintain and create a stable and healthy lifestyle.
Right.
And then, there's parts where we get cooped up in the house too much, and I kind of throw there like, maybe we should go on a date.
Right.
Maybe we should get out. Like, I feel
Right.
kind of awkward talking to people. We should get our social muscles, exercising and all that. So, and then it's just a matter of maintaining a good quality of life between each other. Like,
Yeah.
What do you-
I don't necessarily know if I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I work and I make my money, but my money is my money and his money is our money.
Yeah, I would go crazy if
So,
I was a stay-at-home mom.
yeah.
I have a busy mind. If I were to not work, I would probably go crazy. Like if I just had a baby, then that baby would consume my time. I would consider that a job. But with that, we were kind of talking about that earlier. If I became a stay-at-home mom, you know, he's like, I do expect you to like the cleaning, the cooking, and you know what I mean, taking care of the child. Like that is your job. And I was like,
It's
I can
definitely an energy shift for sure.
be later down the
Sure,
road.
so,
And like
okay,
I
put it
want
on,
my baby. He's got his babies, right? I want my baby.
Right.
I was like, that's
Put it on all
that's a
of us.
special bond that you can't.
Right.
You mean that nobody else can give me but myself.
Right.
And then you know what I mean. I was thinking, what would happen if I
Headphones,
was?
guys. We're back live. Sorry about that. The device which we go live from is battery powered and it's on 0%, but it's plugged in. So it died, but we're still live and we're still cracking. But Dennison, can you get it to comments or no? If you can see it, get it to comments, and if somebody does, okay, go to YouTube, see if anybody said anything. No, okay, just keep it on all. If anybody does leave comments, we'll react to them,
You tizzle.
and we can see the screen. We can see what he's supposed to be seeing, but don't even worry about it. Just if anything, just look at the TV. You can still control the sounds. Shit, that's never happened before. Right? Edison's over there losing his shit. Like,
What more do you want from me?
Do you have your chopstick?
Do we pay Dennis?
no. But oh shit. Okay, so were you guys still talking about that, or do I move on?
I was just talking about like when you're in that kind of role though. Like I think it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, if you're out of a relationship. One of the biggest things I feel like people forget is self-care. That's like the biggest thing. If you're not taking care of yourself and you're relying on other people to take care of you, I was like, you need to trust in yourself and make sure that self-care is a priority no matter what you do. And by doing so, creates a sense of peace and happiness within yourself. And then I feel like if you're happy with yourself, then you can be a better partner. You can be a better version of yourself, period.
I think that's a great segue into one of the questions you were going to ask.
Which one?
The personal development, like who's
Oh,
better
yeah.
at.
Yeah, I mean, we can ask that. I do want to. Yeah. Well, I mean, who do you think is better at personal development, male or females? But we're gonna go around, and we'll start with you. Sit up, too cool.
50-50.
Sit over and lean back and shit.
50-50. Hey.
Chilling.
Yeah, 50-50. I don't have a stance on it either way. I don't feel strongly about it.
It's fair. All right. What about you? Who's better at it?
I've been through a journey where, you know what I mean, self-care and self-progress and, you know what I mean, the self-starters, self-motivating, all that stuff is where I had to actually put that to the test and go through that process. And it was a very painful process. But to have the maturity to do so, I feel like females handle that a little bit stronger. But at the same time, I think, you know, I feel like women mature mentally faster than guys do. And then once the guys catch up and they get older, it's like, you know, they kind of, you know, men age like fine wine. It's like once they get older, then they're more capable of being, you know, that personal development and whatnot. But I feel like at a younger age, it's a lot harder for men to do it than women.
I would say neither. I don't know. Like that's just a rare trait in an individual to improve.
Well, just given statistics, and because I'm in the personal development world heavy, and I think that women are catching up for sure. Like, but if you talk about like top percenters or whatever, or like 1%ers, most of the what's it called? Is this my phone making all this noise?
I think it's Dennis.
Oh, okay. Is it yours? like the conferences and stuff, like motivational speakers are mostly men and the attendees are mostly men. But now that like network marketing and like affiliate marketing and women do want the personal development piece of like, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, becoming more developed in that way. I think that men kind of led the way, and now there's a ton of motivational speaking women that are like coming out. So I think men, but I think that women are getting up there for sure. Because I've been to like different conferences now where it's like women led or in the network marketing community, or just like personal development is like a daily thing for me. But I also teach people and I'm in the coaching space and I'm like, oh damn girl, you ain't had a lick of therapy or like a lick of, you know. And so I think, you know, when it comes to like development, I think there's a lot of more religiously developed women, like fresh out, you know, that are like more mature and they're like on a path, and then something happens and they're like, I'm gonna stay right here. And men are like, you better get your shit together, because you need to have the personal development to like stick it through something. Like if you ask women like, how long have you been at this job, or how long have you had a chapstick? You know, it's like, oh, I usually lose something, or, you know, I stay at a job for like 6 months. I float around from relationship to relationship, but men are like locked in. Like I'm locked into my routine. I do the same thing. But yeah, I think women are catching on. So being in that space of coaching women, yeah.
I would say that has a lot to do with what I brought up earlier about the age thing. So I understand now, by doing this podcast, speaking to the women we've spoken to, watching the things that I watch, doing the research that I've researched, studies show men are most attracted to women from the ages of 18 to 26 years old, 28. But that is like the gap of women's highest sexual market value place, when they have the most attention from men. So, since that starts at 18 when you don't know shit about life, and ends at 28 when you just start to learn shit about life, it's part of the reason women haven't tried to self-improve, right? Because they haven't had to, because men have been telling them how wonderful they are for the last 10 years. And then once that is over, and men have been working for those 10 years, and finally have women saying, oh, you're really handsome, you got a lot going for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, we had to get attention. You got attention no matter what. So it's understandable that women haven't done a lot of self-improvement, which is why women typically say a lot of the things that they say, the memes that go around on social media, all these other things, and the whole attitude of I'll be feminine when you show me to, I'll be wifey when you ask me to marry you. And it's like, come on, you can't use this same logic anywhere else in life. Like, why does this make sense in your fucking head? You can't go up to the job and be like, oh, I'll be on time when you give me the job.
Right.
I'll do the work great when you hire me.
Yeah, but I will say it's starting earlier now, because I've had like 18-year-old clients, or I've had like in the network marketing field where they're like, I read a David Goggins book, like I'm getting up, I'm working on myself, I'm going to therapy, like, you know, at a younger age, where it's kind of like nipping it in the bud so that it's not just la la la.
I mean, simply put, women just don't have the burden of performance that men do. Only
the burden to perform.
The burden of performance. The burden to perform, however you want to word it. Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved if they provide something.
Yikes.
So once men stop providing shit, they stop getting attention. And the world doesn't give a fuck about how men feel. That's another reason men can't be vulnerable, because it's not just y'all. The world don't give a fuck about how we feel. If we're a piece of shit, if we're a bum, if we're lazy, we're fat, you just don't get no bitches, you don't get no money, don't nobody give a fuck. It's that simple.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like, why do you think taller men make more money? You know what I mean? And that's nothing that they can even control. But on average, taller men make more money because they're rare. So a man with all the qualities that women are attracted to is rare as fuck. And in doing so, you typically end up in relationships like we have, where you see I think most women would share a winner than settle with a faithful loser. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, since there's no burden of performance for women to attract a man, then I understand why they don't harp on self-improvement. You know what I mean? Because even the fat ones get attention. Even the ugly ones get attention. You know what I mean? So since somebody's always talking to them, why I gotta change? Take me as I am. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't accept that from a man saying it. If I decided to stop working out, get fat, eat Cheetos,
Those are the same women that don't get to select the guys that they want, though.
well, most women don't get to select the guys that they want because they're only attracted to certain things. So a lot of women will have this nice man who's going to treat them right, who's going to pay at least half the bills, at least half,
Right.
and not cheat on them. However, he's 5'9". He's overweight. He's not the brightest son of a bitch. You know what I mean? He's missing one of these back teeth. Like,
Oh my god. Not the teeth.
yeah, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like,
We see that a lot.
you know, like,
Right.
but if you want that, if you want true love and connection, like women out here spout, they're there. They're in your friend zone or completely ignored. Period. So it's not that you can't have it because he's not asking. See, that's the thing. That's the craziest thing about this whole dating situation. Period. From the dawn of time. Fuck, almost had him. Is that men are not asking in return from you. They're not asking for the same things in return from you that you're asking from them. Like, take these pads of paper you have and write down your fucking dream, man. And you might have to flip the page. Mine and his is going to stop right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretty, friendly, submissive, fuck me, don't talk too much. Boom, winner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yours is tall, successful, funny, handsome, charming, romantic,
Doesn't take me
sweet.
a Cheesecake Factory.
Listens to my emotions, holds me, can fight, writes poetry, sells a little bit of drugs, but goes to church. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things, and still you're gonna get blamed.
You're gonna get what?
Gonna complain. You know what I mean, about something.
And this
But-
is where I insert everyone should read Keys to the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's a good book. All right, one more question because this damn machine's jacking up, and then we can. Oh shit, are we still up? Is it still going? Oh, I paused it. That's okay. Let's check the video. That is, because I can't be live and watch it at the same time. Last question, and then we can call it a wrap. What was that one that you guys liked? Oh shit, excuse me. All right, let's just have some fun. Name one toxic trait you're attracted to? What's up with you? What do I do that's toxic? That you're just like, God, I hate when he does that, but I'm so turned on right now. I'm not toxic, am I?
I mean, let's not absolve you of all your stuff. Go to someone else. I don't know. I have to think about it.
Keep going.
Daddy, chill.
What?